Green flag's getting underway, and it's going to be a drag race down with a bit of slipstream into the first corner, which isn't the first one that you expect. It's foot flat to the floor in this first section, and it's Al-Sharif, in first place. Jamal Clouden, though, might be able to look for a move into the first corner. In the background, you can see the Aston Martin Ferrari going side by side. What can Clouden do? Nothing. He stays in second place, but the Ferrari of Papoutsakis cutting across the chicane, and he now, where does he lead out of that? No, he stays in fourth place. Good on him. And yellow flags for Leary. He's dropping down the field because yellow flags. He's off into the gravel in the background, you can see. In GT3, Alex Agan taking first place away from Amkloitz. He swapped places there. Klutz DMB, yellow flags. He's off the track. We can actually see replays once we wait. But let's focus on the GT3 lead because Agan versus Amkloitz heading down to Ascari. It's going to be side by side between the race leaders. With into now the McLaren on the outside, the Mercedes on the inside, and the door's being shut. No moves there. Agan stays in first place. Heading down to Parabolica. It's a slipstream battle practically for this race. Stay in the pack, otherwise you'll be left behind. As we see in the background as well, Leary trying to get past it. As we exit Parabolica, it's going to be side by side between two GT3s. They're going to be stuck like this for a while. Who has the better straight line speed between the McLaren and Mercedes? Don't forget about Fablim as well. He's just waiting to see if there's any sort of opportunity to get past these two cars. The McLaren and the Mercedes. Who will have the inside line. The McLaren will have the inside line into the first corner. But he's getting pushed slightly onto the grass, I mean. A little bit, it's side by side. Millimeters apart. Oh no! Oh no, the Mercedes losing the rear, and there's a free car collision into, oh dear gracious me, the McLaren is sent flying. There's no other way to describe it, and he's upside down. There you go. Meanwhile, in Hypercar, we have De Gore in third place, right behind Clouden. And De Gore at Parabolica in the background. You see a Toyota off the track at Ascari as well. The Aston Martin on the outside, the BMW on the inside. The BMW defending well, but the exit. Oh no, the BMW's lost it. At the exit Parabolica, and that promotes De Gore up into second place. Arkina in third. That was Jamal Clouden making that mistake at the exit Parabolica. And now he's missing his rear wing, which is extremely unfortunate. He has to head back into the pits. Amkloitz steer nothing from this race in that Mercedes. It's unfortunate to see that happen. We were looking forward to see a fight for the lead heading down to the first corner, but after the second lap, it's all but done for Amkloitz. And Agan as well, who's 46 seconds behind Fabrim, also involved in that incident. Now it's Mike Johnson leading the race ahead of Jake White and Gonzalez. And Gonzalez waiting behind Jake White for an overtaking opportunity. Agan yellow flags because he stopped at the exit of these corners. On the inside, he's done. Unfortunate to see. Unfortunate that this race has occurred to them. But regardless, the race must continue. Clouden in the pits. MX Bondi also in the pits in Hypercar. Yellow flags again. He's getting going slightly, but will he get back into the pits? Let's have a look at the positions gained after the first couple of laps. And it's 4 places gained for Philip Hawkes, who started in 9th place. Jogma gaining 2 places. And Arkina in 3rd place, also gaining 1 position. Papoutsakis dropping down 1 place, but yeah, Clouden and MX Bondi both in the pits. Unfortunate to see Clouden making a parabolic mistake. But in the front two, pretty set going. Klutz, yellow flag. What's happened to Klutz here? Oh, he's fine. But there were yellow flags out for Klutz. Jake White setting the fastest lap in GT3. There's a fight here for 5th place between Philip Horst and Pout Sakis. And Sakis trying to figure out a way past the Cadillac. The 50 looking to the inside of Ascari. Backs out. Nope, he goes for it. And the Cadillac leaving more than enough space. And Pout Sakis goes up into 5th. Meanwhile, in GT3, Jake White versus Mike Johnson for the race lead. Blake Gonzalez also right behind them. Alex Agan retiring from this race. The two cars that qualified 1 and 2 retiring after just 5 minutes. Jake White looking to the outside of Ascari. Mike Johnson defends on the middle of the racetrack and covers it off well. Now we can see Gonzalez trying to set up a move on the next lap. It's front bumper to rear bumper in GT3. And Jake White looking for a move somewhere. The straight line speed though, Blake Gonzalez has 2 cars punching the air for him. He's going to have super speed into the first corner. But it doesn't look like there's any potential moves, at least in the next one. Oh, the Lexus and the Ferrari are closing in on each other, and it's enough to make the Lexus go slightly defensive. More on the inside than he probably would have, if not under pressure. In towards Ascari. It'd be interesting to see a 296, the car that was built in the same land as where this track is, take the win here. And Mike Johnson gaining 6 places, so did Jake White, so did Gonzalez. For the fight for this race lead in the background, there's a Aston Martin off the track. I believe that might be... who is that? MX Bondi going kind of slowly, unfortunate to see. He's on the grass and cutting the grass as well, and as he's heading back into the pits. And we're going to see a move here. I believe so. Jake White versus Blake Gonzalez, heading down through the pit straight. This is the closest that Blake Gonzalez has been to Jake White, and he's going to set up a move here. MX Bondi given a drive-through penalty in Hypercar. The bend, Porsche trying to find a way, figure out he's going to be on the inside of Curva Grande. Nope. Jake White covers it off for now. We don't want to see a repeat of what happened when the top 3 in the previous iteration collided. The bend, Porsche on the inside of Jake White. Goes for the move down the inside. It's a bit of a side-to-side contact between the 296 and Porsche. But Jake White keeps his second place for now. This battle has allowed Mike Johnson to take his race lead and run away with it slightly. 1.5 seconds now the lead versus the second place. And Al Shaif now will be catching up to these 3 GT3s. And this traffic may play a part here in the fight for the race lead in GT3. Al Shaif trying to worm his way past now. Oh dear, okay, yeah. This is the point of multi-class racing. You're going to be stuck behind slow cars, especially around corners like a Ascari, which is hard to overtake from. The Aston Martin trying to figure out ways past these GT3s as well. And he's gotten past with them, but I believe that may have benefited De Gore a little bit more than it did Al Shaif. Al Shaif now under pressure from the Aston Martin Valkyrie. 49 minutes left to go. MX Bondi in the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. MX Bondi now leaving the pits after serving his drive-through penalty. Let's go back to Jake White versus Blake Gonzalez. As they're trying to... Blake Gonzalez is trying to get out of the way like he would in blue flags, but with hypercars versus GT3s, especially in multi-class racing, you don't physically get out of the way. You just stick to your line in GT3s and let the hypercars pass you, rather. But I'm sure he'll learn that after a while. Jake White catching up to Mike Johnson as we see one of the 499Ps locking up the 50 of about Sakis. But he continues on, passes the 3 GT3 cars. De Gore has been the closest. Oh nope, he's dropped back. The timing page just made it look like he was right at the back of Al Shaif. They're sitting out of Lesmos. De Gore now 1.6 seconds behind Al Shaif. We're seeing Klutz DMB. This battle has closed up quite considerably as the Cadillac trying to figure out a way past the bend Porsche. And Philip Hawks getting past one of the GT3 cars, and the Aston Martin of Klutz DMB. Oh, is that